Hi guys, and welcome back to LPB Racing for the British Touring Car and Support Series on Project Cars 2. We're getting ready for a start here for race 4 of round 4 in the Ginetta G55 GT4 car at Snetterton 300. We're off! Bidzster with a good start, TY alongside TY with a 1 second advantage in qualifying, so TY is the man to beat in this one. As we go down towards the first corner, the two leaders almost touch as we come into turn 1. Both cleanly through there, Bidzster gets the lead. Meanwhile, Footman is attacking James Deluxe in the background as we come down towards the Montreal hairpin. Stevie's a bit late on the brakes and he's hit his teammate. Stevie's hit his teammate. Neil has nowhere to go and hits him. Keith gives Neil a little bit of a kick up the backside as well. TY spins it round and that's changed the complexion of the race before we even get past 2 corners. Blakeney goes wide on turn 3. Blakeney goes wide, really wide off track as everyone else streams through shot, and there's Blakeney rejoining. So close to miss out there, and TY almost hits him as well before he reverses out of the way. Amazing stuff on this opening lap. Meanwhile, RZR is right behind Footman. He's pressuring him. He's up the inside out of Agostini. Down towards the little curve at Hamilton. RZR Blade gets the position done. Into Oggies now. Into Oggies we go. RZR Blake keep hold of the position. Callum in 6th place. TY all the way back down in 9th place after that second corner misdemeanor with his teammate. So good stuff there as Footman gets back past RZR Blake. Good job there. We saw that as I was talking about something else. Good job there by Footman. Good move as RZR Blake goes back down to 5th. Callum waiting in the wings for anything to happen. So Bidzster's in the lead then as they come towards the chicane at the end of the straight. Then it's Stevie, James Deluxe, Footman, RZR, Callum, Keith, then TY and Neil near the back. TY wanting to mount a comeback, lights ablaze. Blakeney all the way back in 10th place after that spin at the turn 3. Here's a replay of the first corner action that happened. We're just going to watch it back out in slow motion. So into the corner we go. Bidzster's defending from TY. They make slight contact, but nothing too bad. As they both turn into the corner, and Stevie just completely misses his braking point, hits his teammate in the back end. He spins backwards. Poor old Neil's not got anywhere to go, even though he's on full lock. Hits the side of TY and Stevie. And then Blakeney very lucky to get through, and James Deluxe and Footman. RZR Blade goes the long way and clips the back of TY. And then as the camera swaps, you can see at the top of the screen there, Neil Farmax gets hit by Keith and still can't get going. And that's what happened. So here we go then, through Murray's for the first time. Stevie a bit wide onto the grass, but no harm done there. Bidzster, lucky again. Well, not lucky again because he worked hard for the other 3 races, but gets a bit of a gap in this one. So TY was about a second or so quicker in qualifying. He definitely would have been the man with the pace in this race, but watch out for TY making a good comeback because he has got the pace in this one. Neil Farmax looking up the inside of Keith into turn 1. Into turn 1 we go, into Riches, and Neil goes through. Keith is probably going to get passed by TY in a minute as well, because TY will be on a move to try and get back up the field, but it's not going to happen just yet. TY goes wide into the corner to get a good line out. He'll probably get a good line on Keith here. Might even line him up for the Agostini hairpin. But we'll have to watch out as we look at James Deluxe. He's ahead of Stevie. Stevie's gone backwards. Stevie's gone backwards off camera again. So Stevie's gone back. So I don't know what happened there. We'll get a quick replay. Okay, here's an onboard of what happened to Stevie on lap 2. So into the Montreal hairpin we go. Goes up on the curve, gets the power on a bit too early and just spins round towards the wall. Lucky to avoid the wall. And that's how Stevie loses all those places. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So as we come back from that, TY is up the inside of Keith and just about stops the car on the apex. He goes straight through up the inside of Keith. That's 1 place, and now just 7 more to go to get to the leader. So TY into 8th place now. 7 more cars to pass, and one of them's made it easy for him. Callum's spun on the infield. There he is. He's just come around Hamilton, probably hit the curb too hard and spun round. There he is rejoining. So both Team Yellow cars at the back in this one. A dismal race for Team Yellow in this. Meanwhile, RZR Blade and Stevie having a good little battle here. Stevie flashes his light saying, "I'm coming for you." RZR Blade says, "No, you're not." And shows him which way he wants him to go. RZR he's going to defend the inside slightly as they go into the hairpin, and James Deluxe spins off. I did not see if there was any contact there as Stevie takes out more marker boards. As RZR Blade gets hit by someone, sorry, Neil Farmack gets hit by someone there. I think that was that TY, or was that Keith? It was all a bit of a confusing mess there. I couldn't keep up with everyone going off the track, so we'll get several replays on that action. Okay, here we are on board with Footman on lap 2 for the first of those incidents. So, into the corner, we're way behind James Deluxe, so yeah, if he loses it on his own, just loses the rear end of the car, and that's what happened to James Deluxe. And now it's Stevie and Azadard's turn, so we're on board with Stevie, into the same corner, into the corner we go, and then we just tap the back of Azadard Blade, we just try and roll off the brakes a bit, and we hit him, and then there's James Deluxe rejoining, and Stevie goes on. And now let's have a look at all that from TY's point of view. So you can see Stevie spinning ahead, we're slowing down, and then we see two cars rejoining, and there's Neil. Neil panics, hits the curb and goes round, and we hit Neil. Nothing we can do to avoid that, and then we continue onwards. Right, so now that's explained everything, we'll come back. So, Bidzster is in the lead, Footman is now in second place after all that, Azadard Blade's up to third, Stevie is back up to fourth after going down to fifth from what we saw earlier. Then we've got James Deluxe in 5th, TY 6th with Keith right on his tail, Callum down in 8th, Neil back down in 9th again, not having a good few races is Neil, and then Blakeney all the way back in 10th place, still trying to catch up. So that's the order so far, as we look at Azadard Blade and Stevie going into the hairpin. So Azadard Blade ahead, James Deluxe very sideways in the background, looks like he's having handling problems, same thing with Keith as well. Keith for the other team blue car, there he is in 7th place. Bidzster's teammate in the lead in this one. So TY now back on the move. James Deluxe is his next victim. He looks up the inside into Agostini. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's not. James Deluxe defends the position. Good job there by James Deluxe defending that line very well. As we look at Stevie just ahead, trying to mount an attack on Azadard Blade, but not quite close enough to make an impact just yet. But I think TY is definitely close enough to make an impact on James Deluxe, but James Deluxe is not having any of it. Into the corner he goes. Very steady through there, and now through the Williams curve onto the straight. So onto the old Revit straight as TY goes past James Deluxe. He gets a good run out the corner and he's on the correct side now for the chicane, for the entrance that is, but not for necessarily for the right-hander part. But I think he should be past. Yeah, he is. He's well past before we get to the corners. Azadard Blade and Stevie are close. So Azadard Blade and Stevie are very close there. Stevie's up the inside. Stevie does not give up on a move, and Azadard Blade does not give up on a defence. Ruthless defence and ruthless aggression attacking, but still both cars still end up facing the right way, which is good. But two guys who do not like to lose positions, and they love to gain them. As Stevie goes over the curb, that's going to destroy the suspension if the mechanical damage was on, but luckily it's not. It's visual, so he gets away with that. But that's going to lose him a bit of speed onto the straight, but luckily he's got the draft to keep him up to speed with Azadard Blade. Meanwhile, Footman in second place, he's having a ball. Second place on his first week back. That's good going. So Footman in second place, then Bidzster with a 7-second lead up front. There he is. So Bidzster well up front in this one. Azadard Blade still trying to find a way around. Sorry, Stevie still trying to find a way around Azadard Blade. Azadard trying to defend from Stevie, and meanwhile TY is creeping up in the background. So I don't know what Stevie's going to do, whether he's going to let his teammate go or keep attacking Azadard Blade. And I think the answer's been found. Azadard Blade makes a mistake and Stevie goes through. So now TY's got to get past the team green car before he can catch up to his teammate. So Stevie into the corner then, good lines through there. Azadard Blade a bit on the dirt, but no biggie. TY will be on the back of them shortly as well. Meanwhile, near the back there's Callum and Neil Farmack trying to make up some places from the back. Keith and James Deluxe close together, and they're having a few handling problems, I think, because James Deluxe has gone sideways quite a bit, and so has Keith. So both trying to keep that car on track. This car very sensitive in the steering. One little mistake like Azadard Blade's doing, and TY could be right up your inside, but TY doesn't find a way through. Don't know if there was contact there, but TY had to back out of that. We'll just get a replay on that. Here we are then on board with TY, see what happens between him and Azadard. So into the corner, Azadard goes wide, TY goes onto the curb on the inside and actually twitches the car himself, so there was actually no contact. TY did that himself. So as we come back from that then, Azadard Blade in 4th place, still trying to catch up to Stevie. TY after that little moment there in 5th. And going wide, is he going wide? Yes he is, he's rattled by whatever happened there, so TY a bit rattled there as James Deluxe goes through, and Callum well, Callum doesn't go through. He goes through the curbs and over and ends up doing a bit of ballet. So Callum really struggling with this car and really struggling with the controls on this game. So anyone who knows a decent controller setup, please get in contact with LPB Racing so we can help Callum get back to where he belongs, like he does on GT Sport, right at the front of the field. Blakeney in 10th place then, so Team Yellow not having a good race in this one. Neil Farmack trying to catch up to Keith. James Deluxe just ahead. And Arzadar Blade, there he is in 4th place. TY just behind in 5th place. So everyone a bit more spread out now, but still, things could change. One mistake could change it all. And then we watch Footman. Footman's actually gone back slightly in this, so I think Footman's made a mistake. He's lost another 2 seconds to Bidzster, so... And you can see the other cars behind Footman now, so Footman definitely not as much on the ball as he was at the start, but he's not doing too bad so far. Still in 2nd place, even though a bit of a mistake there. Uses a bit too much curb and slows himself out of the corner, and that results in another 2nd loss. So just needs to gather it up, Footman here. He's good at the start of the race, just loses concentration halfway through, just can't seem to get the mental concentration to last the whole race. But we'll see how he goes on. It's still a 3-second gap to Stevie. It's not like it's a huge gap, but again, it's not like it's a small gap either. As Neil Farmack now comes up to the back of Keith. So Neil Farmack finally caught up to a few people and wants to try and make some places as we go up towards the Williams curve, when the camera wakes up and chooses another. There we go. So again, the cameras on Project Cars not the best. They do zoom in like this too much. You can't really see what else is happening around. You can do with some more zoomed out, more panning cameras, and they could do with the actual onboard cameras staying on the onboard cameras, so you can actually get that cool view from onboard the car of what's happening. Now, as I will try and... Oh, James Dulles goes over the curb there, got to be careful of that. As I'll just try and... As Neil goes up the inside of Keith, but thinks twice about it, I'll just try and get to that camera now, just to show you. So there, I'm not going to press any buttons now, so we'll just ride on board with Neil for a little bit. I'm not going to press any buttons, and the camera will change itself in a moment. This will be there. It changes itself automatically. So I would really like to have that particular camera view on a permanent fixed camera, because it is a perfect camera to have. There we go. So it's a lovely camera to have, but unfortunately it can't do much with it, because you only get it for about 5 seconds and it disappears onto another one like that. So hopefully Project Cars 2 can learn from this, and we can get it in Project Cars 3 to have proper cameras. As Neil now goes up the inside of Keith, commits to the move into the Montreal hairpin. Keith gives him space. He knows that was going to be better late than never. So Neil goes up the inside. Well done to Keith for giving him room there. Good job for Neil for actually making the move in the first place, but he's not going to keep it like that if he keeps on going wide. Keith's right behind him, so Keith will gladly take the place if it's gifted to him, as anyone would. But Neil gathers it up and continues on. Meanwhile, Arzadar and Footman's gone backwards in 4th place. Footman's made a mistake and makes another one there. So we'll just get a quick replay on what initially happened to Footman. Okay, so here's a replay of what happened to Footman on lap 6. So watch him out in this corner, gets the power on too early and spins onto the infield, and then as he rejoins, you'll see the other cars coming through. There goes 1, there goes 2, and then we make a little mistake here, and there goes 3. So as we come back, we missed all that because obviously Footman went off, and TY has made his way back up to 2nd place. So we'll just get some replays on how TY made up his places. Okay, so here's a replay of how TY got all those places. So the first thing we're looking at is Stevie. So Stevie does this right off, and that's 1 position gain. And then TY goes right around the outside of Arzadar Blade in towards Murray's. Then Arzadar Blade comes across and says, no you don't, sunshine. Defends the place like his life depends on it. Chops in front of TY, almost takes the front of his car off while doing it. And then down the straight, TY's in the draft here. Arzadar Blade's weaving left and right. TY dummies in, goes the other way, and then down towards Richards. Gets the inside into the corner, brakes as late as he dares, uses the inside curb, and goes straight back through. So as we come back from that one then, Footman back down to 5th place after that. TY, after a few overtakes, gets up into 2nd place, but he's 17 seconds off Bidzster now, and that is too much of a gap. That is way too much of a gap. Bidzster can make a few mistakes like Stevie's just done there, but yeah, Bidzster can make a few mistakes and still resume the lead, so he's got a big enough cushion now to do that. Stevie in 4th place there, looking a bit ragged, but getting on with the job as Neil Farmack now. His next target, James Deluxe. New guy. Very good guy. Very good racer. New with this championship for a full season. He's done the odd race with us in the past, but committed himself to a full season. And creating quite an impact, I do have to say. He's a clean, fair racer, as I think we've seen Footman off in the background. There he is. I just saw that blip off cameras. Does the camera pan? Just trying to go to it. So Footman all the way from second back down to 8th place. Just lapse of concentration and goes back to 8th. So unlucky for Footman there, but hopefully he'll get some more experience this season and be able to make a full comeback next season. Meanwhile, the Team Yellow cars have swapped round. Blayton is ahead of Callum now, with Callum having real handling problems in that Ginetta because of the controller configuration that he's using, or the controller mappings or sensitivity or something like that, whatever it is. So Callum really struggling there. Look, he can't even get the car turned in, so unlucky for Callum because all the cars are on default setup, so they're all running the same. Actually quite a nice car to drive, this one, when you can when you've got the controller set up for it, but it's a really nice car to drive no matter what setup you've got. But obviously whatever Callum's setup is really, really bad for him, so let's hope he can get that fixed in time for next season. Meanwhile, James Deluxe then under attack from Neil still, but Neil not really closing as fast as I thought he would in this second half of the race. As he goes up on the curve, there's James Deluxe going down the straight now. There's Keith in the background, 7th place, all alone for him. So Keith with a bit of a gap all around him now. Oh, he goes off the road, but he'll not have much of a gap if he continues like that, because Footman will be right on the back of him. But Footman using a bit more of the curb and the dirt to get round that corner. So meanwhile, there's Bidzster. Bidzster goes on to his last lap of the race, 17 seconds ahead of the second place person, TY. So Bidzster on his last lap through Riches, clean as you like through there and down towards the hairpin. TY in second place then, but a bit too late now in second place. He could have won this race if he didn't have his teammate hit him at the start, but can't change that now. So TY in second place then, RZR Blade third, Stevie in fourth, James Deluxe behind him now in fifth, followed by Neil. So that one mistake could mean a couple of places change in that battle there. So this could be the one to watch as we go round Riches for the last time up towards the Montreal hairpin. Onto the brakes we go. James Deluxe closes right upon Stevie, but that's only because he outbraked himself a bit. But then he actually does get a decent run out the corner, so that was a pretty good line there by James Deluxe actually. It went wide on purpose to get the cutback for a good line. And round we go. Down turn 3, down towards Agostini for the last time, the Agostini hairpin. In towards Agostini we go, and RZR Blade's slowing up as well, so this could close up to be a 4-car train if we're not careful. But that's what we'd like as viewers, because we want good battles on track. And Neil, RZR Blade goes off, not Neil, sorry, it's just there's too many green cars. RZR Blade goes off and he's now in defence mode. Stevie's in attack mode and goes wide. James Deluxe seizes the advantage right up the inside, and Neil's going to try and take advantage as well of that mistake. Up the inside, and Stevie says, ah, no you don't, Sunshine, one's enough, not you. So as they go down the back straight now. So Bidzster approaches Murray's for the last time. He's going to take the victory. Goes round Murray's for the last time. He's coming across the line to win. But we'll just quickly snap back to this battle at the chicane. Is everyone going to get through here okay? I think we are. Yes, we are. But Stevie's very close behind James Deluxe. So Bidzster wins the race. There he is across the line. Bidzster wins the race. TY is going to finish in second. And now the battle for third is on. So Bidzster first, TY second. And now everyone else coming towards the line. RZR Blade followed by James Deluxe, Stevie and Neil. Last corner lunges as we go over the curb. RZR Blade goes right over the curb, and I think did Stevie spin? I thought, oh, Stevie's lost it. Oh, all unfolded there. But RZR Blade gets the James Deluxe finishes in fourth. Neil finishes in fifth. I'll put my teeth in. Stevie recovers after something happened there. We'll get a quick replay. Here's a replay what happened to Stevie on that last corner melee. So into the last corner, everyone through the RZR Blade up on the curve, and watch Stevie gets a bit of a slide out the corner, then goes through, and then Neil and him make contact, and he spins off into the wall. And we'll get another replay angle on that as well as this one. An angle of that now on Robbie Neil's chase cam. So we're going on to the last corner. Stevie goes wide, we go to the right. Then we're following the car in front. Stevie comes across, and then contact and then takes himself off. Play. So as you come back from all that, then Stevie comes across the line in 6th position, and Keith finishes 7th. Footman is going to come across the line in a disappointing 8th place, because he could have got a 2nd or a 3rd in that race, but mental concentration lapses meant he finishes 8th. Blakeney's going to finish in 9th, and poor old Callum, once he gets that controller set up, he'll be back towards the front, but it might take a few races or even a season or two to get that back up the pace, but I'm sure Callum will not give up. So we'll just get those point standings for you now. Okay then guys, the results from that one then. Bidzster wins race 4, that means he's won all 4 races in this special event, so well done to Bidzster. TY finishes 2nd after working hard to get there. Arzadar Blade finishes in 3rd, a good podium for him. James Deluxe in 4th, Neil Farmack in 5th position, Stevie finishes in 6th after a dramatic finish at the end. 7th was Keith, 8th was Footman, 9th place was Blakeney, and Callum in 10th, so Team Yellow, not a good showing from them in this one. Okay, so after all that then, Bidzster wins all 4 races here at the double point special at round 4. The 4 races, all double points. Bidzster takes a huge lead in the championship now from Neil Farmack. So if you want the results, go onto LPB Racing at Facebook groups, and we will be on there, and you can see all the info championship wise on there. So see you next time guys, take care.